Welcome to Chapter 1, North by Northeast, the Early Stages of the Research Process. We are going to cut the wheel into 4 quadrants to help you distinguish what is happening at each stage of the cycle. If you want to take notes on this video and the next one, I suggest making another printout of this diagram. That way you can keep the previous diagram where you marked the primary and secondary halves clean for your eventual compass that you will use to guide your research. At the beginning stage, ideas are being tested. Knowledge in its early stages of development may or may not be particularly useful. Not all ideas are good ones. Failed experiments tell us something, but not necessarily what we want to know. Documentation of knowledge at this stage is highly personal and rarely accessible. So let's look at some examples of documentation that happens at this stage. Here's an example of field notes from 2 different ornithologists of what might be an ivory-billed woodpecker, a possibly extinct bird. These field notes are only accessible to us because the authors put them on a website. Here's another example. These are laboratory notes instead of field notes. The notes were written by Thomas Edison. He labeled the drawings for this device a telephone, but the device later evolved into the phonograph. When he wrote these notes, they were shared only with his colleague, Charles Batchelor. Now that we can see them, because they have been digitized and put online. Here's another example of laboratory notes. These are written by the Nobel laureate Linus Pauling. All of Linus Pauling's research notebooks have been scanned by the Oregon State University Special Collections and posted to the internet. Here's a little digression. A document with Linus Pauling's signature is displayed in Neal's Science Center. Have you seen it? Scientists also share their research at scientific meetings either through formal paper presentations or less formal poster presentations. Sometimes the full papers are published later. Other times only abstracts are published. Conference papers may present original research and are considered a primary source. Sometimes they may present scholarly, yet secondary research, like this one. It's a literature review. Secondary sources summarize the primary literature, lead you back to the original sources, and may draw new conclusions from the author's synthesis. We'll talk more about that later. Conference publications may be cited as proceedings or symposia, as you can see by the highlighted area of the title page. This is an example of a formally published conference publication published by the American Chemical Society as part of their ACS Symposium series. Our library does not regularly buy conference publications, but we can get formally published ones for you through interlibrary loan. This concludes Chapter 1, and you are now ready to advance to Chapter 2.